Good morning once again. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, warmly welcomes you to this, your home of Agriculture of the Americas at its headquarters here in San Jose, Costa Rica, on occasion of the inauguration Secretary of the Director General of IICA for the period 2022-2026 by Dr. Manuel Otero. We would appreciate if those present can stand so that we can sing the national anthem of Costa Rica. We will remain standing, thank you. We will now hear the national anthem of the Republic of Argentina. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. We are honored this morning with their presence. His Excellency Ambassador Luis Almagro, Secretary General of the Organization of American States. His Excellency Mr. Rodolfo Solano Quiros, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Worship of the Republic of Costa Rica. Her Excellency Teresa Cristina Correa, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, and Supply of Brazil, and Chair of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture. His Excellency Renato Alvarado, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of Costa Rica. His Excellency Mr. Julian Dominguez, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries of the Republic of Argentina. His Excellency Victor Villalobos, Secretary of Agriculture and Rural Development of the United States of Mexico and Emeritus Director of IICA. His Excellency Mr. Santiago Bertoni, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of the Republic of Paraguay and Chair of the Executive Committee here at IICA. His Excellency Mr. Saboto Cesar, Minister of Agriculture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dean of Ministers of Agriculture of the Americas. Their Excellencies, the Ministers of Agriculture of the countries of the America and member states of IICA and heads of delegations, as well as members of their official delegations. Honorable Dr. Manuel Otero, Director General of IICA, His Excellency Luis Eugenio Verando, Ambassador of the Republic of Argentina to Costa Rica, His Excellency Hipólito Mejia, former President of the Republic of the Dominican Republic and Goodwill Ambassador of IICA, Her Excellency Cristina Perez Gutierrez, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to Costa Rica, representing the Associated State of IICA, their Excellencies, Ambassadors of the member states, and IICA observers accredited to Costa Rica, the Honorable Heads of Mission of international organizations accredited to Costa Rica, Mr. Javier Manzanares, Executive Assistant Director of the Green Climate Fund, Mary Assurance of Raquel Diaz-Chan and Gabriela Albedo Alvarez, whom IICA today will be making a special recognition today. Mr. Lloyd Day, Deputy Director of IICA, Ms. Nidia Quiros, Assistant Mayor of the City of Juan Vázquez de Coronado, senior authorities of the government of Costa Rica, the Emeritus Directors General of IICA, Ms. Amanda Otero, and members of the family of the Director General, representatives of the private sector and cooperating institutions, members of the IICA chairs and the body of Goodwill Ambassadors and members of the senior advisory bodies of IICA, academic institutions, officers of IICA here in Costa Rica, and of the 34 delegations of IICA in the Americas, as well as members of the Association of Community Outreach at IICA, and the members of the national and international media that are joining us in this inauguration ceremony, as well as all guests that are following us from basically throughout the whole world through this live broadcast. Welcome, everyone. We would like to greet the Chancellor of the Republic of Argentina, who is also connected to this broadcast. Once again, we would like to warmly welcome you from an evergreen San Jose as the Director General of IICA. We said with a clear sky, a very pleasant temperature here in Costa Rica at this time. We will now proceed to the swearing in of Dr. Manuel Otero as Director General of IICA. The swearing in will be carried out by Her Excellency Ms. Teresa Cristina, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply of the Federated Republic of Brazil, acting as Chair of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, IABA, whom will proceed to read the minutes of this event. I would like to ask Mr. Otero to take his place and raise his right hand. And Dr. Otero will be accompanied by his granddaughters, Catalina and Sofia, whom we invite to accompany their grandfather. Go ahead, Madam Minister. Dr. Manuel Otero, under Resolution 502 issued in the city of San Jose on September the 1st, 2021, during the 21st ordinary meeting of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture. It approved your re-election to the position of Director General of the Inter-American Institute of Cooperation on Agriculture for a second mandate from 2022 through 2026. In that same resolution, you were given the plenipotentiary right as Director General beginning on January 15th, 2022. Dr. Manuel Otero, do you swear that you will loyally and faithfully follow the duties of the position of Director General according to the nature, purpose, interests, and regulations of this institution? Yes, I do. An applause, please. Thank you very much. So with the blessing of God and the supervision of the member states of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, I appoint you as Director General, and we wish you full success here in San Jose, Costa Rica. January 17th, 2022. Congratulations. Thank you very much. We would like to invite the Director General to take his seat. We thank Cata and Sofia. And we would now like to invite the Minister Maria Teresa Cristina Correa, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply of Brazil, as Chair of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, to address us a few words at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished Director, under my position, distinguished ministers and Director General, I would like to thank my friend, Dr. Manuel Otero, for his hard work, who has been heading the IICA for the last 4 years with great coordination. This was essential to advance in fundamental matters for agriculture in our hemisphere. The adoption of several common principles by the countries of the Americas was relevant, very important for such a balanced outcome in the Food Systems Summit recently held last year. And there are so many matters of concern here. The African swine fever, for example, that we have been working on, and our partnership with IICA will certainly be useful to achieve the support of the continent for all our countries. Looking towards the future, we hope to continue providing support to the different regions and thus protect our agriculture and protect trade, for free trade, and to ensure we support the development pillars. The agricultural sector has a fundamental role to generate jobs and generate revenue and food security, as well as nutrition. The essence is also the development to ensure the development of good agricultural practices that may be disseminated and thus support society. So, Director General, as you always say, IICA is the home of the agriculture of the Americas, a place where we feel very safe and free to address all the different issues, despite the diversity of our region. The countries of the Americas are counting on you for you to continue providing and leading this institution and providing your support to help develop the region further. And once again, I have another new successful 4 years. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Minister Teresa Cristina. Thank you for joining us at this time. We will now hear the words of Dr. Manuel Otero, Director General of IICA for the period 2022-2026. Thank you very much, Director General. We invite you here to the podium. Good morning, everyone. Respecting the biosafety standards as a result of the pandemic that is affecting us all, I would ask your permission to take my face mask off. Allow me to greet His Excellency Luis Almagro, Secretary General of the Organization of American States, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Rodolfo Solano Quiroz, a friend of our county, Her Excellency Teresa Cristina Correa, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply of Brazil, an excellent chair of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, Minister Renato Alvarado, and through him, the secretaries and ministers of agriculture of the member states of IICA and the Americas. I especially make reference to the Minister of Agriculture of Argentina, Julian Dominguez, my own country. Greetings to my dear friend, Ambassador Luis Velando, and I greet the different ambassadors of the member states, of associated states, and observers of IICA. His Excellency Polito Mejia, President of the Dominican Republic in the period from 2002 through 2004, heads of mission of international organizations in Costa Rica and in the world. The distinguished ladies whom we will be awarding a well-deserved recognition at this event. Entities, companies, goodwill ambassadors of IICA and international organizations that are with us. Special mention of the executive subdirector of the Green Climate Fund, Javier Manzanares, the authorities of the government of Costa Rica, directors emeritus of the organization, my wife, Amanda, my dear family. Welcome, everyone. I acknowledge also the ministers of the Guyana, St. Vincent, and I apologize if I am forgetting someone, but truly, this is a very special event for IICA and for me particularly. Warmest greetings, as I always say, from this evergreen Costa Rica, the public policies of which have brought great recognition to this country for protecting and restoring nature and turning it into a model which heads towards turning the utopian sustainable development into reality. The circumstances brought about by the severe sanitary crisis that continues to affect the whole world has forced us to celebrate this meeting virtually. Despite the distance that a virtual meeting imposes, in my heart, I can feel the closeness of each and every one of you. And this I do recalling the feeling, the excitement that seized me 4 years ago when in the same place, I took office as Director General of IICA, the 11th Director General in the history of this beloved institution, which to date continues to look towards the future. I remember that in January 2018, we spoke about the need to repose the institutional mission in light of a continental and global context is constant evolution. Back then, we agreed that the multiple crises in the world faced mandated putting the agriculture of our continent at the top of the public agendas and giving this institution the chance to play a renewed leading role in supporting its member countries. In essence, ever since day one, and with the clear leadership of the countries that make up IICA, we strive to ensure that our agriculture and rural territories are seen as strategic assets of the countries of our continent, a region with an enormous potential to contribute to solving the regional and global crises that ail us all. For that, we believe that one of our main tasks, with the imperative support of the ministers of agriculture, who are the constituents of this institution, was to modernize IICA to thus contribute with concrete and verifiable impacts to develop an agriculture capable of providing those responses and contributing those solutions. All of them knowledge intensive and with a human face and an ever more harmonious relationship with the environment. We needed, and together we kicked off, a true institutional transformation, which we now need to consolidate. Thus, we optimized the use of our financial resources. We developed a knowledge management platform that provides feedback and amplifies technical cooperation. We increased our strategic partnerships, and we launched a virtual campus from which to build capacities to train the human resources that will transform agri-food systems in the region. We also started to proactively communicate IICA's intense activity, and we laid the foundation for an open door institution, realizing initiatives such as the Center for the Interpretation of Tomorrow in Agriculture, CIMAG, where agriculture, novel technologies, and education converge. The virtual museum, AgroArt, the typical rural home, and the first innovation laboratory or Fab Lab for agriculture that seeks to democratize and put in the hands of family farmers scores of solutions based on digital technologies. In the search for this new identity, we are advancing in the construction of the Forest of the Americas and the Agriculture of the Americas Plaza, the latter a true space of leisure, culture, and coexistence to exalt biodiversity and the rational use of agriculture. Its inauguration, scheduled to commemorate this year the first 80 years of IICA, is a clear message of integration and closeness to society in Costa Rica and throughout the Americas. We did all of this together, headed by you, distinguished ministers and secretaries of agriculture of IICA member states, and therefore, I sincerely thank you for such inspiring and effective support. If you allow me, I would like to touch a matter I consider relevant and which I mentioned in passing, that of a global and continental context, with changes accelerated by the pandemic and which constitute a new reality that has generated more poverty and insecurity, particularly in detriment of the most vulnerable sectors. But we will come out recognizing that our agri-food system is a key strategic focus to drive sustainable processes that generate jobs, progress, and social peace. I believe we all feel we are facing new agri-food politics, and this implies a constellation of challenges and opportunities. One of these is to consolidate and strengthen the relevant positioning of our continent in global trade, which grants us global muscle and makes us keep up to date permanently, so as to be prepared in the event of a complex scenario with ever more stringent standards. I am fully convinced that the American continent is called upon to be the guarantor of environmental, nutritional, and food security of our planet. Only through our participation and commitment can we achieve this worldwide objective. Amidst the pandemic, when we saw our production systems giving clear signals of resilience, that the wheel of agriculture was not slowing down, and that markets were being supplied in due time and manner, then the United Nations Secretary General launched a call to discuss the transformation of agri-food systems, starting the journey to the summit, which took place last September 23rd. Through updated and state-of-the-art technical cooperation, it was possible to foster dialogues, articulate positions, build consensus, and establish effective coalitions for action. Such unmistakable signs of mature countries were translated into an unparalleled agreement, materialized in 16 messages which reflect the position of agri-food systems of the Americas in the world. These were introduced in the pre-summit in Rome and then in the summit in New York. In the framework of a renewed multilateralism and after the experience resulting from this journey towards the summit, and with the consolidation of consensus and unity for the action of the Americas, allow me to underscore the renewed role of IICA in the future, continuing to be the driver and catalyst of the collective action of our countries. The IICA, which is moving into modern times, must also be seen as a builder of bridges, uniting stakeholders, topics, countries, subregions, and continents. In this sense, allow me to express my optimism for the dialogue that we will promote beginning tomorrow with the Ministers of Agriculture of Africa in the framework of a partnership we are developing with AGRA, the Alliance for the Green Revolution in Africa, in search for a shared vision and a common agenda between both continents. The move towards a new positioning of agriculture of the Americas calls for a concerted action involving not only the public sector, but also the private sector, academia, civil society organizations, and international financial institutions. I would also like to reiterate this institution's commitment to increase contributions in favor of our countries, to formulate a new generation of public policies with a long-term view, recognizing the relevance of matters of science and innovation, and putting farmers of all conditions and sizes at the center of the stage, looking at agriculture as part of the solution. In this sense, I would like to reaffirm to you our commitment to work relentlessly so that IICA can consolidate itself as the great institution for technical cooperation, which, from the region, looks out at the world, providing a portfolio of impactful projects and putting these at the service of ministries of agriculture. I would like to therefore announce the launch of the Public Policy Observatory for the Transformation of Agri-Food Systems, which will be coordinated from IICA together with a broad network of universities and international entities committed to this subject matter. We have an IICA that is getting closer to that target image we dreamt of 4 years ago. Less bureaucratic, more efficient, based on processes and networking, shaping technical cooperation that aims to remove those barriers that hinder the transformation of agriculture. Regarding this point, I would like to announce that in mid-2022, IICA will be certified as the first carbon neutral international agency headquartered in Costa Rica. We have an IICA ever more focused on resolving problems, contributing to the mitigation of and adaptation to the effects of climate change, working on trade and health, innovation and development, bioeconomy and productive chains, family agriculture and territories, gender and youth, and applying differentiated strategies in each member country and in all our subregions, particularly Central America and the Caribbean. Special mention must be made to the bioeconomy and circular economy approach that we have made available to member countries as a strategic component of a new vision of agriculture where, besides producing raw materials, renewable energy is generated as well as industrial inputs and ecosystem services are provided. All of these, which are fundamental for the true revitalization of rural territories as space to create economic wealth and social justice. We are moving towards an IICA ever more consolidated as a network of networks, which acts through a real knowledge management platform, which has reinforced its commitment to regional integration bodies, which is a true organizer, mobilizer, and energizer of all those collective and rural environments in which matters related to the development of agriculture are addressed with a systemic perspective. In this new map of strategic partnerships, I would like to thank the Green Climate Fund for putting its trust in IICA, and I announced the imminent approval of the 7th, 8th, and 9th pillars by the European Union. In summary, we have an IICA focused on fighting soil degradation, promoting good agricultural practices, developing a new generation of public policies, digital inclusion, innovation of agri-food systems, and developing sustainable production chains, especially for animal husbandry. These are key elements when designing a portfolio of projects that the Americas can offer to the world. To take part in international coalitions, acting as the sole regional technical cooperation organization for agriculture. We also insist on promoting a qualitative leap in the training of human resources for the transformation of agri-food systems by creating a hemispheric training program for leaders to be the protagonists of a new age. The time is now and here. Therefore, I reiterate the relevance of the key tenets of the 16 messages which convey our mission for the transformation of agri-food systems and the role of agriculture of the Americas, approved through the Resolution 531 of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, which met last September 1st, 2021. Without agricultural production, there are no raw materials to transform into foodstuff. Agriculture is fundamental to eradicate poverty, boost rural development, and protect the environment. Allow me to conclude in the same way I ended my opening remarks as Director General 4 years ago, quoting Jean Monnet, the father of European integration, with a phrase that condenses the spirit of the objectives we pursue, how to reach them, and how to ensure they prevail over time. Nothing is possible without men, but nothing lasts without institutions. In ending, I would like to reiterate my gratitude to the Ministers of Agriculture, Secretaries of Agriculture, and representatives of member states, whose leadership allows and facilitates my work as Director General. To all IICA officers, represented by Deputy Director Lloyd Day, whom I thank very much for supporting me in all my endeavors at IICA. And I reiterate that without all of you, my work would be so much harder. My family, Amanda, which has been a fundamental buttress for me professionally and personally, and helps me with my open door policy at IICA. My daughters and my grandchildren, I ask them for a bit of sacrifice because I will not have enough time to dedicate to that, but the cause of agriculture merits this. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Director General. Let me remove my face mask once again. And before we continue with the program, I would like to thank you once again. And I would also like to greet particularly the ministers and the Secretary of Agriculture and Livestock of the Republic of Honduras, His Excellency Mauricio Guevara, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, Minister from for Agriculture of the Bahamas, and Minister of Agriculture of Guyana, Zulfikar Mustafa, who has also joined us. And we also have the presence and someone who we would like to greet from Costa Rica, the former Minister of Foreign Relations and Worship, and also the Minister of Argentina, Engineer Felipe Solano. So now, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much, Director General. Now we would give the floor to His Excellency, the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries of the Republic of Argentina, Mr. Julian Dominguez. Go ahead, Mr. Dominguez, please. Good morning. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate and greet Director General of IICA, Mr. Manuel Otero, the ministers of the Americas, and those who represent the international organizations, ladies and gentlemen who are present in this inauguration ceremony. Good morning, everybody, and may I greet you from Argentina, from the interior of the country, not from the Buenos Aires. And it is a great pleasure to be able to be joining our dear Manuel in such a very important day. Regretfully, the pandemic has not allowed us to travel to San Jose as we all had wished to do, but at least we have the chance to greet each other and exchange some messages regarding the importance of the work developed by IICA in our continent. I would also like to highlight as well that we have Ms. Raquel Chan, Dr. Manuel Chan, who is specialized in plant science and the director of biotechnology in my country, who has given us some very important scientific headway in resistance to droughts. So I would like, I'm happy that she's being acknowledged today by IICA. For several decades, IICA has been working with our countries in moving forward towards rural well-being and sustainable development. So we thank the value and the valor and the efforts of Director General Manuel Otero, who is turning IICA into a modern institution towards the countries. And the transmission is cutting off. We apologize. And particularly for its producers. Dear Manuel, from Argentina, we are completely sure. And again, the broadcasting is cutting off. Minister Julian Dominguez, we are having problems listening to you. Is it possible for you maybe to turn off your camera so that maybe we can hear you better? We will try to get back to the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries of the Republic of Argentina. I apologize for the technical issues. We understood that he was going to be connecting from Buenos Aires, and so we apologize for that mistake. And also because of the pandemic, he is joining us from a different part. So the post-pandemic world poses many challenges and opportunities for countries in the region. There is an increase in demand for food. I ask our colleagues from ICT to see whether we can get reconnected with the minister, but I believe that the core of the message has been conveyed, and the presence of the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries of the Republic of Argentina has been acknowledged. And so if we are able to get a good quality connection, we will be able to continue listening to Mr. Julian Dominguez. Now we would like to ask His Excellency Mr. Rodolfo Solano Quiroz, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Worship of the Republic of Costa Rica, to join us here. And just a brief moment so that we can disinfect the microphone so that we can continue observing all the biosafety measures. Good morning. Thank you very much. From the evergreen Costa Rica, as Manuel said before. And I would like to greet you from Coronado, where we have 3 farmers markets. If I'm wrong, please, I'll ask the mayor to, deputy mayor to correct me, but I believe there's 3 of them. And I would like to greet all of those who are joining us virtually, and also the representative from the OAS, Luis Almagro, and the minister chair of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, and all the different authorities, chairs of mission, representatives who have been accredited in Costa Rica. I have prepared a few words, but I need to confess myself. For those of you who have not been able to visit IICA's facilities, as you drive from San Jose all the way up to these facilities, there is a big billboard that says, "Welcome to IICA, sowing innovation to harvest prosperity." And that phrase forces me to add some ideas to the things I wanted to share with you today. I would like to start by, first of all, read Dr. Manuel Otero, Director General of IICA, and congratulate him for his new mandate. A new mandate under a circumstance that places him as the manager of an institution that has taken place prior to, during, and post the pandemic. And that definitely leads to a huge responsibility and a great big summoning responsibility. And those of us who know you, that based on your professionalism and all your capabilities, we believe that with your colleagues, you will be able to tackle any endeavors and challenges. So on representation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Worship of Costa Rica, it is a great pleasure for me to be here today to acknowledge the great work, your natural impetus, and their innovative management as Director General of IICA. Dear friend, I'm truly pleased for being able to greet you today, as well as greeting your family and your wonderful teamwork. Work team. Nothing can be accomplished without understanding clearly the importance of teamwork. And this comes from the capacity to listen and respect one another. As you were elected for a new mandate as the Director General of the Inter-American Institute of Cooperation on Agriculture, we know you have a vision to the future based on constant transformation to adapt to current demands. I see on the screen my dear friend Masanares from Sondo in Korea. And I recall the anxiety that we had when we were looking for the fruit and meat in the Korean market for fruits and meat of the Americas. So with this, we now reiterate the very smart bet that we can be a productive, innovative, and exporting platform. IICA, under Manuel's administration, has been able to foster greater cooperation among all different member states and the entire region, ensuring the advancement of agriculture as a key activity for food security and also for social peace, the sustainability of democratic institutions, and through this, the respect of human rights of all our farmers, of their children, who will allow us to have a better future. This is key to understand mandate and the unwavering commitment of those of us who have a position that will allow us to favor the most vulnerable populations and make agriculture a drive for the development of all rural areas in our country. For Costa Rica, it is very important to continue advancing in the different schemes for sustainable development, taking into consideration the big threat of climate change, acknowledging also the need to adapt our agricultural and production practices by using clean technologies and new technologies applied to agriculture. The sustainable use of water and soil, among other innovative solutions that may also allow us to mitigate the impact on the climate. Dear friends, today we can gather on-site or virtually to talk about innovation, technology, and future. But let's not forget that in order to do so, we probably had to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner today. Without food, we wouldn't have the necessary energy to be carrying out this activity. Let's remember that food production is the oxygen of sustainable social development. That is why we need to strive to attain strategies for the construction of a resilient and sustainable agri-food system, and with better opportunities for rural communities, particularly for women and the youth who dedicate themselves to carrying out such activities, as well as food security and nutrition. We need to continue developing tools, programs, and projects to strengthen the capabilities and foster the family economy, and the 4.0 digital agriculture as well. And in this sense, international financial systems and banking systems need to understand that they need to guarantee the access to fresh economic resources in favorable conditions for those who work the land. When sustainable and inclusive development is a driving force for all the countries in our region, it is key for us to acknowledge a person who is always looking into the future and works decisively on all these topics. So we are sure that under Manuel's leadership, with his innovative vision, we will be able to take into consideration all the circumstances as an opportunity to continue implementing the necessary changes demanded and required by the new times, and continue positioning agriculture as a vital activity for our economies that may dignify the identity of our region as well. I would also conclude by wishing you all best success in this new year. And I urge you to carry out an exercise within your area of responsibility so that we can all understand that it is the time to talk less and act more. Because every time we carry out an action within the framework of our responsibilities, we will impact a family, a woman, and a community that is willing to continue working heroically as they've done during the pandemic, where production never stopped, or when production never stopped. And that is precisely during the pandemic that the first version of vaccine was what guaranteed the fact that we were able to face the challenges. Thank you. Thank you very much, His Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs and Worship of Costa Rica. We were happy that you were able to find the fruit and the meats from the America while you were in office. And now we would like to ask His Excellency Secretary General of the OAS, Mr. Luis Almagro. Thank you, dear Manuel, ministers and colleagues and friends. I would like to congratulate Mr. Manuel Otero on his new mandate or second mandate as Director General. In his first mandate, he led in terms of strengthening the regional multilateralism and fostering cooperation, seeking solutions constantly for the main problems in the region. Now, the pandemic and its great burden to the region with the cost of lives and also showing us drastically our vulnerabilities. Agriculture is key for us as a solution. Agriculture is a means, and it's to take care of the soil, the water, and also taking into consideration the devastating effects of climate change and that natural disasters also have on our countries. It is also education. Agriculture is food security and the need to innovate and incorporate technologies to produce more and better. Agriculture is a key part of our leap towards development and have better societies. Manuel has undertaken all these topics with great efficacy and commitment. We met a long time ago. Since 2005, we have had the opportunity to work together in some of the main topics of the region and the challenges faced by countries. By looking at IICA's agenda today, we see the logic, Manuel's logic. Each challenge has been undertaken, each problem has been tackled, and he has been proactive in knowing that our economies need to move forward in their development and that international, interregional, and national trade is necessary. And that process will not be successful unless we take care of the agricultural sector that needs to be supported and stimulated. IICA is a multilateral inter-American instrument that is key from the development standpoint. And this will allow the hemisphere to recover after COVID for economic growth, to attain the best society or the best societies that we all aspire to. Thank you very much. And a big hug to Manuel.
Thank you, Ambassador Almagro, former Minister of Agriculture of the Republic of Uruguay. In a moment, we will take the official photograph of the event with all those present and those that have joined us virtually. This will be an image taken from the IICA headquarters. My colleagues from ICT say that we have regained communication with His Excellency, the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of Argentina, Julian Dominguez. So, Mr. Minister, go ahead. The floor is yours. Yes, thank you very much. I would just like to wrap up with some of my concepts, my best wishes for Manuel. We know of his leadership and innovative efforts, and he works in favor of integrating the different nations. His intellectual leadership and continental leadership is extraordinary. He understands our countries and our agri-food chains and understands the challenges of a changing world. We do not really know what the world will be like after the pandemic, certainly not the same, and we will rearrange the international business community. It is very important here to have a common platform jointly reading the next steps, and we need to respond to climate change also. We have addressed difficult changes of climate change in our countries, and in the countries of the region, the same has happened, not only in ours. Biotechnology is the most appropriate, the smartest response to climate change, but also to preserve the productive capacity of our growers. And we want agri-food production with farmers working out in the field. All this challenge is part of the agenda that Manuel has and encourages. Allow me to take advantage of this moment to greet Manuel on behalf of the President of the Republic. He asked me to convey his satisfaction that an Argentinian can renew his mandate in such an important role for our country and for all the region. I am fully convinced that the work of the countries of the Americas will continue to move along jointly, hand in hand, identifying issues, exchanging experiences to improve our productive system. Manuel is the right person for this. So I take advantage of this complex opportunity to greet the ministers from the entire region. The ministers of Mercosur and those of us that have outstanding expectations, the role and leadership of IICA in favor of our countries. I am sure that our agenda as ministers of the Americas will have to be reposed. I am sure that upon the end of the pandemic, the agenda will not be the same one we dropped off a couple of years ago. We will play a decisive role in the next decade, particularly in this century of knowledge and the ability to pass on to our growers all the know-how, the best of success for Manuel and his team of collaborators. I am very proud of having IICA lead this event. This leads to the allow us to see the signals coming from the future. To all ministers present, my greetings. Manuel, the best of success to you and the private sector, the academic sector, the international diplomatic community. I am sure that in the Americas, we are prepared to face new times. Great success, Manuel, and thank you for allowing me to share with you these words from your beloved land. Greetings to all. We would like to thank the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock of the Republic of Argentina, Julian Dominguez, for his participation. We would like to invite Mr. Lloyd Day, Deputy Director of IICA, to the front here to take the group photograph. We would also like to invite the Ambassador Luis Velando to participate here with us. Thank you.
Muchas gracias a todas las.
I would like to thank all the authorities. We would like to say farewell to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Worship of Costa Rica, Mr. Rodolfo Solano. We thank him for his presence. Acknowledging his agenda, he must leave. So we would like to invite Mr. Lloyd Day to accompany the members of the head table. Lloyd, please. Thank you. Let us continue with our agenda. As the first act of the second administration of our Director General, Manuel Otero, heading the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, we will proceed now to launch the special fund between the Green Climate Fund and IICA. The Green Climate Fund is part of the Framework Convention of the United Nations on Climate Change and was created as a mechanism to help developing countries to adapt to climate change and mitigate its effects. For these reasons, we would like to invite Mr. Javier Manzanares, Deputy Executive Director of the Green Climate Fund, to address us some words. Go ahead, Mr. Manzanares. Yes, thank you. Warm greetings to all of you. Ministers, excellencies, representatives of international organizations, from embassies, representatives of civil society. It is an honor on behalf of the Green Climate Fund to participate in such an outstanding event. Congratulations to Dr. Manuel Otero for this second mandate as Director General of IICA. And I would also like to congratulate you because IICA was accredited with the Green Climate Fund in mid-2021. The accreditation process is very important in order to have access to Green Climate Fund funding. GCF is the largest green fund provider in the world, and the fact that IICA has become what we call a regional direct access, a direct access entity with regional presence. Well, this is critical in a sector as is agriculture that you all know much better than I do. And this has an impact on about 25% of the greenhouse gases and suffers the violent consequences of climate change. In this manner, IICA becomes a vehicle to attract funds from the Green Climate Fund in the area of agriculture, forests, and other land uses. After the approval of the accreditation by our board, also in 2021, we proceeded to sign the legal document, which is ever more important to implement this type of assistance, master agreements, an accreditation master agreement. Special appreciation to Manuel Otero for achieving this. In conversations with the Director General, he has expressed his interest to create a methane reduction fund, $100 million, to be more efficient at all levels. And for this, the first step is through the request of technical cooperation up to $1.5 million to provide the necessary feasibility studies to create a robust methane reduction fund that would be put at the service of all member states. This fund would open up a window, an opportunity, both for the public sector as well as for the private sector, to submit projects that imply more efficient productive processes, and is directly in line with the position of the Green Climate Fund. The GCF was supported in Glasgow this declaration on methane, together with more than 100 countries committed to reduce methane emissions. And the objective is to reduce 30% of these emissions by 2030. This objective, if achieved, would reduce the projected global warming in 0.2 degrees Celsius, according to European Union estimates. IICA, distinguished ministers, IICA has all the necessary attributes to become a facilitator of the relationship between ministries of agriculture of Latin America and the Caribbean with the Green Climate Fund. As the Director General was just mentioning in one of his comments, IICA can also serve as a bridge between Latin America, the Caribbean, and other continents as Africa. I personally applaud this relationship with agriculture and the Green Climate Fund as an institution which provides support and funding to more than 143 developing nations. I warmly welcome to escalate this work. I would like to end. Director General Manuel Otero, I would like to end, and ministers, to encourage IICA to become a relevant partner for its member states regarding carbon credit funds, both in the mandatory market as well as in other markets. There are dozens of quality projects in the areas of agriculture, forests, and other land uses in the region that call for additional sources of funding, either in the traditional centralized format and in an alternative decentralized format, where the leadership of regional institutions is a must, that are much more flexible, much more agile, and that are updated with carbon markets and are an opportunity to support all the business sector, all the farmers, to have access to other sources of revenue that are not exclusively those of the traditional centralized market. For this, and once again, congratulating Manuel Otero, IICA, I end my comments. I am always available to all of you. Warm greetings. Thank you very much, Mr. Javier Manzanares, Deputy Executive Director of the Green Climate Fund, for such relevant comments. I would like to once again invite the Director General of IICA, Dr. Manuel Otero, to make his comments. Thank you. A special recognition to Javier Manzanares, Deputy Executive Director of the Green Climate Fund, for his warm words. I would like to thank you for trusting in IICA through this recent accreditation. And as Director General of this institution, we would like to echo the mandate of the Green Climate Fund, aimed at funding projects and mitigation and efforts and mitigation and adaptation to climate change, particularly to help the more vulnerable countries. I can assure you, dear Javier, that IICA will do the best and bring its best cater and work with the ministries of agriculture to work on transformation that can only be sustainable for agri-food systems. Through your words, I see you fully support this concept of building bridges with other continents. And this will be a signal of a sign of the new times we are facing. We will soon be requesting funds from the Green Climate Fund to carry out a series of feasibility studies to reduce the impact of methane in livestock, improving efficiency of productive systems, particularly in the livestock chain, where there have been a lot of criticism and little understanding of all the progress made. And in rice also. And as of now, I would like to say that we would like to be a relevant partner of the Green Climate Fund in everything related to carbon credit markets, particularly if we think of new formulas. So it is an honor for IICA to be a partner of the Green Climate Fund. We will honor this partnership. And I reiterate, all our officers will be working hard in this direction. So I repeat the importance of these announcements and the commitment that we will be facing with great strength all the consequences of climate change and the need to work on adaptation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director General. Allow me to get off track a minute, just to say that there are comments with greetings from the different ministers and secretaries of agriculture of basically all corners of the Americas. I would like to mention them all if you allow me. I will do so slowly so as to not slow down this ceremony. Greetings especially to our colleagues from the FAO, dear Mexican Senator Beatriz Paredes, who is connected from her country. We are glad here at IICA that you have recovered. Ms. Beatriz Paredes is the Goodwill Ambassador of IICA, the Minister of Agriculture of the Dominican Republic, Linda Cruz, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of Uruguay, Minister Matos, greetings. And we will continue to greet all of those that have sent their greetings and comments on such a special day for IICA. Now we are honored to offer the floor to His Excellency Saboto Cesar, Minister of Agriculture, Rural Development, Industry and Labor of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dean of the Ministers of Agriculture of the Americas. Minister Saboto, please.
Thank you very much, Chair, all ministers represented, Excellencies, Director Generals throughout the hemisphere, media. I greet a moment for celebration. But as we celebrate, we must also take time to reflect so that we have an excellent path prepared for the future. We are faced today with a common global challenge, the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in isolation of all the pre-existing challenges, food prices, and 3, our quest to zero hunger and undernourishment in our world as a fundamental sustainable development goal. I wish my colleague and my friend, Manuel Otero, at this his swearing-in ceremony for the period. I will begin with a charge to the newly returned Director General. We are all here to support your dream and your vision for better agriculture and food systems for all of the hemisphere. We also support your quest to bring the rest of the world in partnership to achieve this common goal, but of you to continue your excellent work and not ever to become complacent. We all you have been gifted to the hemisphere and the world for a time like this, 2022 to 2026. From your chair, you will influence livelihoods, and you will be able to conquer many challenges. communities around the hemisphere or work. These are all duties that must never be treated lightly. Your first and has great foundation. I call on all of the staff of IICA to engender the drive of Manuel in your everyday work. Far too have become cold, inward looking, less attentive to the nimbleness of the season, settled, and sometimes paused. And embodied of some of the hemisphere's best technicians and lay important foundations and must continue to rise to the occasion. This is a charge to all IICA officers. The governments must continue to give full support and to facilitate the operationalization of that much needed open door policy for collaboration. As a side show, IICA is and will continue to be a central and a critical part needed for the advancement of our agricultural systems in the hemisphere. I call on all ministers to continue to support this great organization and to work with the Director General to bring about much needed global. This is an opportunity for us to build both bilateral and multilateral relationships. Let us see the rich results of networking and cross-fertilization of our efforts. Let us be steadfast and resolute so that when we come to the end of our life's journey, future generations, that we were all good stewards of and for the peoples of the hemisphere. Our young people must be specially targeted for support. I am indeed optimistic. I am indeed comforted. We must continue to work with the leadership, the vision, and foresight of Manuel, my comrade, my brother, and my friend, his team, to bring modern solution from St. Vincent's and the Caribbean. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Minister and Dean of the Ministers of Agriculture, Honorable Sawato Cesar. Thank you very much. I would like to especially thank our colleagues from ICT because we are in ceremony, as the Director General was saying, and the Minister of Argentina was saying, a very difficult situation, and we very much thank the words and images of all those that have joined us virtually from the Americas in a very productive manner. So once again, our appreciation. I already greeted Mr. Fernando Matos, Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries of the Republic of Uruguay. I said I would continue to greet. I would like to greet the Minister of Agriculture of Guatemala, Jose Angel Camposeco, the Minister of Agriculture of Nicaragua, Edward Centeno, the Minister of Agriculture of Chile, Maria Emilia Undurraga. And now we would like to invite His Excellency, Mr. Hipólito Mejia, President of the Dominican Republic in the constitutional period of 2000 through 2004, as well as IICA Goodwill Ambassador, to speak on behalf of the body of IICA Goodwill Ambassadors. Go ahead, Mr. Hipólito Mejia, please. Dear friends all, for me, it is a great honor to anticipate in this inauguration of my friend Manuel Otero as Director General on second occasion of IICA. I wish, as well as we all do, we hope that this administration will end in 2026 in such a successful manner as the one you just finished, with significant accomplishments for all our countries. As Goodwill Ambassador of IICA, I am pleased to express our warm welcome to Ms. Maris Judens, who joins the body of Goodwill Ambassadors of such an outstanding institution. It is fair to say that the re-election of our friend Manuel Otero as Director General of IICA is a recognition for the achievement he made in such difficult times as our countries face, particularly for the rural world. The vital role of this sector is directly linked to the contributions made by food security, health, the increase of exports, the generation of revenue, and the support of tourism, and to the preservation and adequate use of the environment and natural resources as a necessary condition to ensure sustainability of integral development. We are facing a very difficult time that represents a series of challenges and opportunities. No doubt, the pandemic caused by COVID-19 has created not only a health crisis with many ramifications, but also has had a direct impact on agriculture. As an example, I can just mention the absence of to the workplace, alteration of the global trade, both by air and ground, the increase in cost of transportation, the increase in input prices and other processes that affect the price of food we consume every day. This new scenario we see worldwide and also locally explains the growth of poverty and social inequality we are experiencing in our countries. In this dramatic context, we should see the growing migration of our brothers and sisters who risk their lives and lose their lives oftentimes to seek in other lands the well-being that they did not find in their countries of origin. What to do to transform these challenges into opportunities for our Americas? In my opinion, the response lies in the sustainable support of cooperation and solidarity. And this is, we see what precisely what happened in my country, the Dominican Republic, with the rise of African swine fever. As Secretary of Agriculture on that occasion, my only option was to head the campaign to eradicate this scourge and assure the recovery of our swine population as soon as possible. Aside from having an economic dimension, it also directly affected family agriculture because swine raising in our country is our piggy bank, as we can call it. So we, since swine raising, it was so important, its deterioration caused a lot of loss of jobs and a lot of poverty, but working together, we avoided that the tsunami of African swine fever affected, we prevented it from affecting our economy. The government headed here by my friend Licenciado Lindbergh Cruz, our Minister of Agriculture currently, worked very hard and made the right decisions to face that scourge. And secondly, the effective support, international support coordinated by the institution, by IICA, headed by our dear friend Manuel Otero, was fundamental in all of this. This collaboration had a fundamental component of having professionals of our region to work in a competent manner with our own people to develop a management plan. The Dominican Republic swine sector is working very actively thanks to all this effort. This chapter of cooperation should ensure everyone that we will continue to work on this. Our agriculture sector has been called upon to coordinate and continue with its leading role in the development of our countries. The rural world is not just a space to produce food products, but also the best scenario to ensure the sustainability and make our nations a space of collective living characterized by the well-being and full exercise of rights and the sense of belonging that support our citizenship. Friends all, I reiterate to my friend Manuel Otero, our hope that this new administration will allow us to strengthen ties of cooperation and solidarity to make tangible our aspiration. And we hope we can all be brothers and sisters of the Americas. Thank you very much. Warm greetings to all our friends present there.
Thank you very much, President Hipólito Mejia. We would also like to greet Limber Cruz, the Minister of Agriculture of the Republic of the Dominican Republic, who is sitting next to him. And we will start with the second part of our program. We will be acknowledging 3 great women of the Americas based on their significant contributions to the transformation of the agri-food systems. We would like to invite and give the floor to the Director General of IICA, Dr. Manuel Otero. Thank you very much, Guido. This part of the acknowledgements is key in taking into consideration the new map for strategic partnerships and having qualified people with a long-standing history of supporting a noble, sustainable, inclusive development that will generate social justice and wealth in this area. So I would also like to say a few words regarding Mattis Jorens, the Goodwill Ambassador. And I would like to say that this is a very important day for our institution because we are joined by ministers and secretaries from the Americas and so many dear colleagues and friends who will be acknowledging this person who embodies the spirit of livestock in Mercosur. And I'm talking about Mattis Jorens. She is a cattle raiser and philanthropist, and she's fully compromised with the nature. And she works in her country Euro-wide to improve animal welfare. And she works also in trying to develop opportunities for growth and development in rural areas. She will become, as of today, a Goodwill Ambassador of IICA, and she is an entrepreneur with very important presence in the fora where the future of agri-food system is being discussed. She's the chair of the foundation that has her name to protect Paraguay's wildlife. And so we acknowledge her important work in livestock and genetics, the leading role that she has in terms of livestock and agricultural trade, and also her role in animal welfare and plant health in her country, and her environmental and support to the environment. And so thank you very much, Ms. Maris Lawrence, for accepting this role as Goodwill Ambassador of IICA. You know that the Institute's Goodwill Ambassadors share concerns and commitments to attain an equitable and sustainable development. They also commit to joining causes that increase public awareness, and they also support projects who have to do with food security, bioeconomy, and gender and youth relations. And responsible production, which are all part of the agenda of our organization. So once again, welcome Maris to this body of goodwill ambassadors, of which we are so proud. And we are going to be looking forward to your contributions. So thank you very much. Now we will continue with the appointment of Ms. Maris Jordan as IICA Goodwill Ambassador. So IICA appoints Ms. Maris Jordan as an IICA Goodwill Ambassador in topics of sustainable animal production based on her contributions to an innovative livestock production and for the preservation of the environment, signed by the Director General of IICA, San Jose, Costa Rica, January 2022. And now we will go directly to the Republic of Paraguay to give the floor to His Excellency Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of Paraguay, Santiago Bertoni, who is also the chair of the Executive Committee of IICA. The floor is yours, Mr. Bertoni. Please go ahead. Good morning, all. Special greetings to Director General of IICA, Mr. Manuel Otero, and wish him a very successful second term. I would also like to greet all those present here, IICA's staff members, the ministers of agriculture and livestock of the region, and all the others who are listening to this video conference. Also special greetings to Dr. Chan and Ms. Almedo, who will give in some important contributions, significant contributions to agriculture and extraordinary contributions in terms of technology. Mr. Manuel Otero's mandate have been distinguished by allowing the important participation of the region in different fora for the negotiation of better coordinated and stronger position of the region. And hopefully in this second term, he will continue doing so. IICA has strengthened itself, and the ministers of agriculture have felt supported by a technical institution that is stronger now and that is looking after our interests. I would also like to congratulate Ms. Maris Jorans for her appointment as an IICA Goodwill Ambassador, based on all her contributions in all things that were mentioned in favor of the agricultural and livestock sector at the national level, but also the regional level. And I would also like to highlight her participation in the International Organization for Animal Welfare, where she has important positions. She's looking after the improvement of animal and health in Paraguay in the region, and her contribution for the preservation of Paraguay's wildlife, as well as international wildlife, because the well functioning of the zoo of Paraguay depends on her. I would also like to congratulate Director General and wish him the best in this second term. I would like to congratulate Ms. Maris Jorans once again as a Goodwill Ambassador. I know that we are all in good hands, and I know that Ms. Jorans will honor this appointment that IICA is given her. Good afternoon to all. Thank you very much, Minister Bertoni. And now we will give floor to this Goodwill Ambassador, Ms. Maris Jorans. Please go ahead, Ms. Maris Jorans from Paraguay. The floor is yours. The interpreter apologizes, but the volume is very low and it's cutting off. I would like to greet all of those who are participating in this ceremony. I feel very proud and honored for this appointment. I wasn't expecting it, honestly, and I will continue contributing to in anything, any way I can to assist Paraguay in the region. And I would also like to congratulate and highlight the great work IICA is carrying out in Paraguay. I would like to congratulate Mr. Gabriel Palacio as well for his work in favor of Paraguay, sorry. I feel sad I wasn't able to attend this ceremony personally, but I still wish you all the very best, Dr. Otero. And let's continue working together to grow in the area of livestock and agriculture to help people, and mainly respecting the environment. Thank you once again and congratulations. Thank you very much, Ms. the Ambassador. And I just want to greet briefly in Jamaica, Minister Charles Jr., Bernal Charles Jr. in the Dominica, Philip Grant in El Salvador, Minister David Martinez, and the Minister Peter David from the Grenadines, and Alexis from St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Minister from Suriname, Charlotte Lee from Haiti, and the Ministers of Agriculture who are present here, the ministers from Colombia, Peru, and plurinational state of Bolivia, and Trinidad and Tobago, all of them who are joining us in this ceremony. And now we will listen to, now the Director General of IICA will give the award to Dr. Raquel Chan as Chair in Biotechnology and Sustainable Development. So thank you very much, Guido. Now I have to announce another acknowledgement by IICA, which I feel very happy about. First of all, because IICA is constantly trying to highlight the work of women in science. And also because IICA is always trying to strengthen the national science and technology systems in each country. And we have this recognition for a professor who is a professor at a public university, the Universidad del Litoral. And this is part of the scientific and technological system in my country. And also because of the great pride I feel in giving this award to another Argentinian with so many accomplishments as Dr. Chan. She is a biochemist who studied in Israel. She got her PhD in the University of Rosario, and post-PhD in the Institute of Biomolecular Technology of Plants in Louis Pasteur in Strasbourg, France. And she is mainly developing research on the response of plants to the environment. And as a researcher, she led the development of Gen HB4. Gen comes from the sunflower, and which gives also, which is also important for soy and wheat. And so we are here in the presence of someone who has provided something very important, research and solutions for climate change. And so I will allow others to explain what this development represents to Argentina and the world, but I would just like to highlight that Raquel, as researcher and mother and professor, is making a wonderful contribution in the promotion of the levels of investment in science in Latin America and the Caribbean as those in the developed countries. And this is very important if we want to have developed nations. So once again, Raquel, thank you very much from this Open Door IICA for this very important accomplishments. Thank you very much for being here, for accepting this acknowledgement. And this is just a very well-deserved acknowledgement and recognition because you have made decisive contributions for the growth of agriculture and promoting rural development and an improvement of the lives and life conditions of those who live in those areas. So thank you very much, Director General. And so IICA, this is what the document reads. IICA appoints Dr. Raquel Lia Chan, a chair in biotechnology and sustainable development, due to her contributions for the strengthening of the national systems for science and technology, signed by Director General of IICA, Manuel Otero, San Jose, Costa Rica, January 2022. Thank you very much, Mr. Director General. Now, thank you very much. We will listen to Mr. Ariel Martinez, Undersecretary for Policy Coordination of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock of Argentina. Livestock and Fisheries of Argentina. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I apologize for not being able to be given this personally to Dr. Chan, but I am positive I have the disease, I have the COVID. So I'm talking to you all from home, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to congratulate you and also congratulate the Director General for his second term and acknowledge your great accomplishments so far, thanks to your leadership with everything that has to do with the Agri-Food System Summit, for example. And for the Argentinians, it is a great pride to have people like Dr. Raquel Chen to be acknowledged and awarded this kind of awards, because they show the commitment and this that we have, and also the vision that we have to contribute in sustainable development that will adapt to very strict social and economic requirements. So it is important to continue strengthening our scientific and technological systems in our country and foster public-private cooperations to support the needs of our producers. We all know what Dr. Chen has done, but we can highlight a few of her accomplishments. She's a biochemist, but she also has a doctorate degree from the University of Rosario and also a postdoctorate degree from the University of Strasbourg. She is part of CONICET and part of a Institute of Biolitoral, and she is the chair of Biosciences Center. So these are like our Nobel Prizes. So the Dr. Chen is within that very select group of scientists who have obtained a worldwide acknowledgement. And she has developed research on how plants can adapt and improve the yield of crops. A few moments ago, you mentioned the HB4 Gen. This was led by Raquel Chan, together with some agricultural companies like Bioceres from Argentina that allow us to have more tolerant seeds to drought, allowing us to have better production yields and better adaptation of plants to water stress and have a better yield by hectare. So based on all this, we would like to thank IICA for acknowledging all these contributions by Dr. Chan. For our country, it is a great source of pride, and it is very important that two Argentinians, Manuel and Dr. Chan, are being acknowledged in this ceremony for this very important positions. So we would like to send you our greetings, both to you, Manuel, and to Dr. Chen. And I thank you very much. And we wish you a prompt recovery. We would like then to thank the words of Mr. Ariel Martinez, Undersecretary for Policy Coordination of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries of Argentina. And now we will listen to the words of Dr. Raquel Chan. But before that, we would like to give the floor to Hugo Sigman, Secretaries, who is the founder of Insud Group, as well as a Goodwill Ambassador of IICA, and a person from the private sector, member of this partnership mentioned by Undersecretary Martinez, who that helps develop solutions for the regions, the agricultural sector in the Americas and the world. Dr. Hugo Sigman, the floor is yours. Go ahead, please. Can you hear me? Yes, please. Go ahead, Dr. Sigman. We can hear you loud and clear. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. For me, it is a great pleasure to be able to join you all in the inauguration ceremony of my very dear friend, Dr. Manuel Otero, and also to be here to congratulate Dr. Raquel Chan, who is a person that I truly admire for very different reasons. First of all, it is very important that they are all concerned about the improvement of crops. And she had the initiative of thinking about what may happen to crops based on different conditions. So that first approach, that first observation is very important because it also gives some light to research. And then she also worked within the university with a team that was able to, that she was leading, and together with this group of people from the University of El Litoral, and in her area of research in biotechnology, to create this very important group. And the third thing, but not the last one, is that she understood that the knowledge generated in the public sector might be enhanced via a cooperation with the private sector, with the private public sector cooperation that may be mutually beneficial. Many countries in a region thought that the public-private cooperation was not beneficial for either one of them. But this is a real example that something developed in the public sector may become international and productive in the private sector. But at the same time, the public sector benefits from developing said technology. And so she had the chance to see all this, and she accompanied this productive process. And she was able to cancel the company, Bioceles, who took upon this license. And this is a big cooperative of agricultural and livestock producers in Argentina. And so all these different things, some contributions by Raquel, identifying a problem, tackling it, developing a group that would deal with it, taking care of the public and the private sectors and not have any prejudices in this sense, has definitely come up with something new and very appealing. And together with all this, she was able to develop a scientific development that will help marginal areas that are seeing difficulties in the production of agricultural products may also have the possibility to have access, because HB4 pretty much improves productivity in low water conditions and saline soils. So Raquel, I see you in this very small square in Zoom. So I still want to send you a big hug. I feel truly fortunate to be able to address this group briefly, and I would like to congratulate you for everything you've done, for everything you do, and for everything I know you will be doing in the benefit of the Argentinian science, production, and agricultural sectors. Thank you very much, Dr. Sigmund. And now we will listen to our Chair in Biotechnology and Sustainable Development of IICA, Dr. Raquel Chan. The floor is yours. Thank you very much, Hugo. Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Otero for his appointment for his second term. And I wish him all the success in the world because I think his plan for this new term is amazing. I am overwhelmed by having all these different authorities present here, and I would like to thank you all. This is a huge honor to be naming as chair in IICA. And I would also like to thank all of those who are not always unseen to and help this become a reality. We were not able to be meet face to face. I know you make your best efforts to do so, but it was not possible. But I would like to thank the teamwork, but the institutions that have supported me throughout all this time. I am not working alone at home. I work at an institute in the biochemical school, and I would like to thank the deans and the directors of said faculties. I also see that Director Mamarela is here as well. UNICEF has been here. The Ministry of Science as well has been with me as well. So thank you, everybody. The work and the accomplishments of all these years have been thanks to the support of many people who I might not be able to name here today, but they all know who they are. And I want to tell them that I'm truly convinced that success was reached thanks to the multidisciplinary approach we adopted. So definitely this was the product of teamwork. We all learn to speak in different languages from our different standpoints. Even though we all speak Spanish, we all had different sometimes wordings and stuff. So it was complicated at sometimes, but by the sum of our efforts and wills led to some durable benefits to agriculture. This is not just an award that I am receiving, but I just want to reiterate my commitment to continue working together for the production of plants that are not just for food, because plants give us a lot more than just food, aside from oxygen, which we always forget about, and also our furniture, medicines, clothes are made up of plants. So the production of plants is pretty much the core of life. And then we have also animals, where we are also part of. So our countries need more development that allow us to produce more within our borders, and always taking into consideration taking care of the environment. So we need more science, we need quality education, and we also need another important pillar that we often forget: communication, being able to communicate science and communicate what we're doing for the improvement and the betterment of all. From my personal standpoint, I will continue doing the best thing that I can, best education in my institutions and my research, and train qualified people that may multiply the knowledge that is needed and overcome and go beyond. So thank you all for supporting me, my friends, my colleagues, my family, my students, my teachers. I just cannot name them all. It's been many years and there's many people who have been involved. So again, I would like to thank you all, and you're always in my heart. So thank you all, and let's continue working for a better world and for a better Latin America.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your very important words, for reminding us of what is truly important. And particularly for, I believe, turning this ceremony into a perfect evidence of how science, private sector, technical cooperation entities, governments, international funding organizations can work together in favor of sustainable development and for a better life for each and every one of our societies. Thank you very much, Dr. Raquel Biachang. And we extend our appreciation to Dr. Hugo Sigmund and Mr. Ariel Martinez. Thank you very much. Let us continue now with the last of the recognitions awarding the chair by Dr. Manuel Otero of IICA. He will award this title to Dr. Gabriela Olmedo. Thank you. Once again, I would like to highlight the work of women of the Americas in science. This not only is it a great pleasure, it is a mandate and an obligation for IICA also. We say and we repeat as often as necessary, there is no sustainable development without robust science and technology systems, and IICA has been working with and will continue to work with all efforts made in this sense. I will leave in the hands of Secretary Villalobos, Director Emeritus of this institution, and with which I worked with the presentation of Dr. Gabriela Olmedos. She worked at CINDESTAP at the National Polytechnical Institute, and who has been an outstanding researcher in genetic engineering and molecular biology, among other areas. Microbial community studies by Dr. Olmedo support this, the benefit of these organisms, particularly for the area of biofertilizers. We are awarding her the IICA Chair in Biotechnology and Innovation. And we highlight that Dr. Olmedo, a biologist from UNAM, PhD from Pennsylvania, is fully committed to education and scientific outreach. And we are giving her this recognition. Allow me to invite with a phrase that says that nothing in the world is there, nothing gets us out of darkness than scientific knowledge. So thank you very much for us accepting this award, Dr. Gabriela Olmedo. Thank you very much. We will now hear the words. We will now give the award to Dr. Gabriel Olmedo, the IICA Chair in Biotechnology and Innovation. Dr. Olmedo is joining us virtually from Mexico. Here we can see the image of the certificate in recognition for her contributions to promote access to science. Thank you very much, Director General. We have continued virtually awarded the title, and we will hear the comments by Mr. Victor Villalobos, Secretary of Agriculture and Rural Development of Mexico, and Director Emeritus of IICA. Go ahead, Dr. Villalobos. Hello, good morning, good afternoon to all of you. I express my best wishes for a prosperous New Year 2022 to all participants at this event, and particularly congratulations to Dr. Manuel Otero, who once again is starting a new administration here at the Institute, and we wish you great success. We reiterate Mexico's support to the work of IICA in favor of agriculture of the Americas. At the beginning of 2022, this has not been easy for the world, and it has not been so for the last 2 years. Nevertheless, those of us that are part of the agri-food sector, we hope that our sector can continue committed and working in these areas. The development of agriculture calls for the participation of an endless number of players from the public and private sectors, academic sector, research sectors, and the challenges of a more sustainable agriculture require scientific knowledge of the highest level possible. In this sense, researchers that from laboratories do this work and that through teaching can strengthen human talent and that support the dissemination of science deserve precisely our recognition. And therefore, I applaud this initiative of the IICA that has been promoting the position of IICA chair. As a Mexican and as Secretary of Agriculture, I appreciate this recognition on such an important date for the work carried out by Dr. Gabriela Olmedo, a Mexican biology whom until last Friday was the director of the Advanced Research Center at the Polytechnical Institute, very well known in Mexico and Latin America, very well known for its work in biotechnology. Dr. Gabriela Olmedo is the first woman that headed this institution. It is important to recognize the scientific work of women also. She is the main researcher of the Molecular Biology Institute. She is leader of the Living Science, a workshop that organizes events and scientific fora with the participation of senior level cadre internationally to encourage new talent and attract new talent into this building process. Basically, she is ambassador, the Mexican ambassador at the Inter-American Biotechnology Institute. This award for Dr. Olmedo will strengthen ties with this hemispheric entity and with similar institutions that will be so important for all of us in benefit of the agriculture sector, particularly seeking the development of knowledge in the frontier of education and research. Congratulations, Dr. Olmedo. This is a well-deserved recognition. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Villalobos, Secretary of Agriculture and Rural Development of Mexico, Director Emeritus of IICA. Now we would like to invite the new IICA Chair in Biotechnology and Innovation, Dr. Gabriela Olmedo, to address us a few words. Go ahead, please, Dr. Olmedo. Yes, thank you very much. It is an honor to be at this meeting and ensure the continuity of the work of its director. And I wish great success to Dr. Manuel Otero during his second period. I obviously thank Dr. Villalobos, Secretary of Agriculture of Mexico, for his trust and very kind words. Particularly, I would like to agree, Beatriz Paredes, thank you very much for participating at this meeting virtually. And of course, I am grateful for the opportunity to be heard by such outstanding authorities. I thank you very much for this, and I am at your service. It is an honor to be next to Maurice Joris and Dr. Chang. And of course, I agree that we need to continue driving women that already contribute so much to agriculture, but that have so much more to offer at the level of science and technology. Why did I accept the honor of this chair? Well, because by accepting it, I am accepting a challenge, the challenge of continuing to contribute to the mission of IICA. By accepting it, for me, this opens the door to a new opportunity to share my knowledge on microbial science and give shape to that passion I have to disseminate science. I agree with the fact that academia must be committed to agriculture, and science and technology have to be the foundation of sustainable agriculture. As Dr. Villalobos was saying, I have a project management directorate, PhD, and this is thanks to the work of one of the most outstanding research agencies in Mexico, Sindesta. I am not director of Sindesta. We are 10 different units, though. I was director of the unit of plant biotechnology. To be at Sindesta allowed me to go down into the adventure of scientific research, but also the opportunity to develop myself as a researcher after directing different programs. I trained many masters and PhD candidates, and a good part of the work done in Mexico is thanks to our students and seeing this stuff. For you, it is possibly not new that plants and soil host millions of organisms. But science has undergone a great transformation. Now we understand the concept of a microbiome that shows us that it is useless and a waste if to add nitrogen and phosphorus if we do not have diversity of microorganisms in the soil. This is essential for pest control. But do growers know about microorganisms? These little creatures that we cannot even see? Well, then we have to ensure that this knowledge reaches these farmers. We need to ensure also the quality of biofertilizers also. So with this, I become a partner to drive different programs. For example, Mr. Javier Manzanares, Executive Subdirector of the Green Carbon Fund, was mentioning the Green Climate Fund begins by understanding the microbiome in cattle because of their production of methane through nutrients. It is also important to reduce the loss of nitrogen in the atmosphere by limiting the excess of nitrogen, which is also possible through microbiological management. So you can count on me. I will actively look for the opportunity to interact with you, to develop and undertake this important mission of IICA. Now, once again, headed by Dr. Manuel Otero. And with this, I end my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Olmedo. Thank you for your words and for accepting this very well-deserved acknowledgement. We would like to greet you from Costa Rica and the Americans once again. I would just like to add a few more greetings to the delegates who are present here from Canada, Vladimir and Mr. Jotanovich, and the delegate representative from the Department of Agriculture of the U.S., Ms. Miller. I would like to thank you as well for being here with us today. Now we're going to start going to the last part of this ceremony. We will open the floor briefly for those ministers and secretaries of agriculture who might have asked for the floor, and please do remain within your 4 minutes allowance. And so we have the presentation by 3 ministers. First of all, we have the ministers from the cooperative government of Guyana, Sulfika Mustafa. I believe he is listening to us from Guyana, Georgetown. Go ahead, Minister Mustafa.
Thank you very much, Chair, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers responsible for agriculture in the hemisphere, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me very briefly, on behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and indeed in the capacity of Chairman of the CARICOM Special Ministerial Task Force on Food Production and Food Security, to extend warmest congratulations to Dr. Manuel Otero on this occasion, formalizing the commencement of his second term. On September the 1st, 2021, during the 21st regular meeting of the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, the heads of delegation of IICA's member states, in a unanimous show of support, endorsed Dr. Otero for a second term to lead IICA. While this is a clear indication of the confidence that the hemisphere reposes in the leadership of Dr. Otero, it should not be lost on all of us of the difficult period on which the second term starts as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to pummel our economies and continuously challenge us to find a way to cope. The new term, as a result, will provide an opportunity to consolidate the gains achieved over the last 4 years and to tackle new projects to strengthen agriculture and sustainable rural development in the Americas as a lever for economic growth and the creation of opportunities for social advancement. I am reminded as well that the year 2022 marks the 80th anniversary of the IICA as an agency that continues to contribute significantly in the development of agriculture in this hemisphere. Arising out of the earliest need to combine efforts, experience, and resources, the agency has consolidated over the years to distinguish itself as a premier institution in the inter-American system, connecting to agriculture, redounding to the benefit of the entire hemisphere. In the capacity of chairman of the CARICOM Special Ministerial Task Force on Food Production and Food Security, I take this opportunity to pledge the region's continued support to work hand in hand with the re-elected Director General, Dr. Manuel Otero, and the Institute to rapidly advance the work of the Ministerial Task Force, which is playing a pivotal role in the providing guidance and the transformation of the agri-food system that is resilient, provides attractive and sustainable wealth creation opportunities for potential investors, and guarantees food and nutrition security for the region. In this regard, I look forward to the imminent launch of the Dialogues on Global Agriculture from the Perspective of Americas, which will afford the CARICOM the opportunity for engagement, analysis, and the development of alternatives for transforming the agri-food system of the region and to build bridges with other regions. I thank you and wish you all the best going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Mustafa, thank you very much for your participation. It is always relevant, and also because of the important role that Guyana plays as the headquarters of the CARICOM. Now we will listen to the Secretary of Agriculture and Livestock of Honduras, Mauricio Guevara. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you very much for the opportunity. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Manuel Otero for his second term and leading IICA as its Director General. I would like to thank this opportunity to congratulate IICA's personnel for all the work you've done during the past 4 years, which has definitely been a very important support for our secretary and faced with all the things that we have faced, like the climate change, ETA, and other hurricanes that hit us with the 2 weeks apart. And so IICA was present there to help us in supporting our food system. I would also like to congratulate Franklin Marin, our dear friend, who has been a key element within the Secretariat for his direct support and advice, who's been really key for our Secretariat. And I would also like to congratulate those wonderful women, brilliant women who have received this award by IICA these very high level professionals. I would like to then congratulate them, just like my colleagues have done so. And I would like to congratulate IICA for everything it's done for our countries. I would like to conclude by saying that we are on our way out. A new government will be starting very soon. So I would like to farewell my colleagues from IICA with whom we've had a very close relationship. I would also like to thank you all for trusting us in discussing important topics regarding the agri-food system in our region. And if we encounter ourselves and we meet again, eventually, let's all keep working together for the improvement of the Americas. So once again, congratulations, Dr. Manuel Otero. May you continue working in favor of all of us with your team. And congratulations to all the embassies and those who have been receiving awards today. So thank you all. Goodbye. Thank you very much for your participation, Mr. Mauricio Guevara, Secretary of Agriculture and Livestock of Honduras. And now we would like to just reiterate that, and thank you for staying within those 4 minutes allocated. And I will listen to the Minister of Nicaragua, Edward Centeno. Welcome, greetings from Costa Rica. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning. I would like to greet you from Nicaragua. Greet all the different ministers from the Americas, the representatives from different organizations who are present in this inauguration ceremony of our dear friend, Mr. Manuel Otero. I would like to greet you on behalf of our president and our vice president and the people of Nicaragua. We truly believe that our unity will allow us to continue moving towards a fair world, a world in which where regardless of what we do from public policy may lead to benefits for the poorest, that agriculture, which is the pillar of our economies, may always stay in the top position, producing enough food, quality food that may be accessible to all families, and for all of us to have fair markets, that the products may be well paid for to all of those who on a daily basis sacrifice themselves to feed humanity. This event is truly important for all of us. And we would like to acknowledge Dr. Manuel Otero for his extraordinary work as the leader of IICA. We are sure that in the forthcoming years, we will also obtain excellent results. So, Dr. Manuel Otero, please feel reassured that you have Nicaragua's support so that IICA can continue yielding the successes that you've had so far. We are facing many challenges, and that's why we look forward and congratulate this awards as professorships in biotechnology and sustainable development and the professorship of sharing biotechnology and innovation. We believe these are two very important steps. This new term is having a great start by incorporating these two professorships with two amazing women who represent women in our countries. In Nicaragua, we always say, without women, there's no victory. Without women, there's no way to attain a better human development. So this morning, we are witnessing the importance given not only to science and technology, but also the acknowledgement of two women who we would like to congratulate from Nicaragua. science and technology in the service of humanity. We truly believe in that idea. So, Dr. Otero, hugs from Nicaragua, and feel reassured that Nicaragua will always be supporting institutions like IICA who works in favor of our countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Centeno, to end this space where we have been requested by the floor by ministers and secretaries of the Americas. We offer the floor to our host, the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of the Republic of Costa Rica, Renato Alvarado. Thank you. Let me disinfect, sanitize the podium just a second. Allow me to take the freedom to take my face mask off. Today is a very special day for me. I could not go without coming to this event to celebrate with my friend, dear friend, Don Manuel. I had some health issues last week that did not allow me to leave my home. But today I could not go without coming to this event to celebrate with Don Manuel. This achievement, because this is an achievement that has been built over the last 4 years. The fact that he is here today, repeating his appointment is not just by chance. He is fully committed to agriculture, but with all those involved in agriculture, with all human beings, men and women from the rural areas that day by day work to feed people. And that heart is displayed by Manuel. As a farmer, as a grower, I have felt the abandonment of institutions. But this man here brought hope to agriculture. And together with the ministers of the area, we have felt all this support. The support of a person that said, here I am, present, to raise, open up opportunities and a vision for our farmers and growers, a technified, renewed agriculture, looking towards the future. That is what Manuel brought to agriculture in the area. Thank you, Manuel, really. Just as some of the ministers of Central America, this will possibly be my last participation in an activity like this. We will be leaving office in 4 months. There are still some things to be done. I would like to thank Manuel, the particular support he has given to the Ministry of Agriculture and Research and Development, and what we did to ensure opportunities for growers in Costa Rica and Central America to have today a feasibility assessment to guarantee agriculture insurance in Central America, something that we discussed. And Manuel, without hesitating a second, said, let us do it. Today, we are working with the Dominican Republic and Panama to work together to develop the enabling framework of the agricultural insurance that will allow growers to be subject to credit. The difficulty of having so many risks in agriculture, climate risk, price risk, pest risk, makes banks not really favor micro and small growers of family agriculture. For 4 years, we have been discussing this matter. We have fought regarding this subject matter, and we have examined why not fund these small growers. The risk factors are the Achilles tendon of these growers. But with this vision of the future, with this clarity of the path to take, Manuel said, we will work on that. And today, the ministers of the region can see the work we have done and seeking the opportunity to implement different mechanisms to access financial resources that will allow us to transform agriculture. Because although it is true, we talk about technology and the need to transform agriculture, we need to also talk about funding the small and micro enterprises in rural areas that without the financial resources would never be able to achieve the sufficient technology and innovation for its transformation. It is vital then that our funding agencies to see agriculture not as a problem, but a solution to the conflicts of agricultural territories in our country where there is a lot of poverty, inequality, and there is a greater distance, an ever greater distance between cities and rural areas. And the pandemic has highlighted this and has worsened the crisis, in fact, but it is also necessary that with these new mechanisms and with visionary people that no longer believe that what happened and has happened needs to continue happening. If we continue to think the same way as before, the results will continue to be the same. And they have not been useful, as we have been able to see. The pandemic came to transform trade and life of each and every one of us. And we have already said here that we need to remake the way we negotiate and sell our agricultural products. We need to guarantee the food security of our nations. Today, we are facing the container crisis in many of our countries. Even with the resources, the raw materials we need do not arrive, not just in agriculture, but all types of other products. The way we market and negotiate has changed. That is so important because we need to ensure our growers fair price for their big effort. We cannot continue to be producers that are sacrificed by others, the marketers and retailers that have grown in their capital, standing on the shoulders of our growers. We need to put our eyes once again on all these producers that feed our people to ensure them a worthy life, an opportunity, and well-being. This will be the only way in which we can continue to grow as nations. And I hope that consumers are aware and conscious of those that produce can always seek to be close to those that precisely generate wealth in the field, because behind each product, there is a story of a human being that with hard work produces, expecting a better life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister Renato Alvarado, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of Costa Rica. Perhaps the final moments of such an important and rich ceremony for the institutional history of IICA also, but basically an assembly for agriculture and sustainable development in the Americas, because of all the important things that each of the speakers have shared, either virtually or in person. We have a 2-3 minute session with a very heartfelt video, which tells the story of the recent transformation undergone by IICA. We would like to invite you to observe this before we say farewell with a short message. Go ahead, please. Thank you. This is a video on the transformation, particularly of this headquarters. Many more transformations are to come, particularly this year, where IICA will be celebrating nothing more, nothing less than 80 years of existence, beginning this second period with Director General Manuel Otero. So at this time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Director General of IICA, Mr. Manuel Otero and his family present here, I would like to end the inauguration ceremony for this period 2022-2026, thanking you for the support and presence, either virtually or in person, of all the authorities with us. I would like to thank all those present for joining us through social media in more than 40 countries? 40 countries. All kinds of people in the Americas and in Europe have joined us. Nairobi, Kenya, too. I would like to thank all participants and invite you to join us tomorrow, which, as part of the events scheduled for this event, we will talk about the first high-level roundtable between Africa and the Americas, building bridges for the future cooperation in agri-food systems. We will be joined by ministers of agriculture of the Americas and Africa in such an important event. And with these words and this invitation, we end the inauguration ceremony. And thank you all so very much. Until next time.
Recording stopped.